figure that I'm a problem and the answer at the same time.
2 weeks have passed since episode 9, and the episode kicks off with the older Kanan's narration giving us a rundown of death. How it's easy for the person who's gone, but not for the people who are left behind. Memories always bring back pain, and this cycle is something you can't stop until you're gone yourself. It's a never-ending cycle. Something else we can be certain of is the chickens will always come home to roost, which is something I've been saying for Detective Howard a lot this season. However, I'm sure we weren't expecting that particular ending. But just like Snap said, if you want shit done right yourself, then sometimes you're gonna have to get your hands dirty. And Rock wasn't ready to give up on either of her brothers. As for Kanan Stark, his name will soon be ringing around the streets as the rumors spread around Southside about Ronnie's passing, which will most likely result in a war with Snaps and Pop. And boy, did they make us look. Khadijah Nick Mathis made a return in an action-packed ending for Raising Kanan season 3.
That ending was the best. I could not go.
Now Rock comes to see Lou at Cedar Shores, where Lou's been holding up for around 2 weeks. Marvin and Rock dropped him off here to help Lou sober up and get clean. Although it was never going to be a quick fix. You could tell he was somewhat still broken and healing from everything that he's done and all the pain that he's caused. Now, unfortunately for Lou, the person that he was talking to may have been his older sister, but she saw life differently. She was a lot stronger. But Lou has to speak to Rock because no matter what they've been through and what they've said to each other, at the end of the day, they were still family. So you could tell how much love these two had for each other. They've been through their ups and downs, no doubt. But for the first time, they actually had an honest conversation, which is very different to the conversations we've seen them have in the past. Rock apologized for everything that she's done and said, and she actually agreed with the doctor eventually. She was angry because she was hurt. She felt like she was losing Lou, and she didn't want to lose her baby brother. We know what family means to Rock, and the way she was looking at this picture, there was no way she was giving up on both of her brothers. Now, this is also where Lou admitted maybe Rock was also right about what she said.
It's time for us to take responsibility for the
This
things
show
that we
is
did,
amazing.
for the decisions that we made.
The acting,
He doesn't just have to take
her
self-accountability.
acting
He also
in
needs
this
to figure
show
out how to live with the
is
pain of everything
amazing.
that he's done in the past with D-Wiz, Scrappy, and whoever else. So as bad as
He
it
did
sounds,
a
the
great
best way to
job
deal
too.
with it
Lou
is to
does a
actually be
great job
selfish and
because he
just
makes
take
me
care of
mad.
himself.
Like, yo,
Which is something we have to do
this really
sometimes in
reminds me
life.
of me.
We have to take care of ourselves, which will then allow us to take care of our loved ones. With Kanan, he was with Crystal. She was asking whether they could be open about their relationship, because Kanan wanted to hide it from Duke and Aisha because of the girls' group. However, Butter seems like it's no more from the conversation we had in episode 10. But with Kanan, he's still a teenager who's still trying to figure out his own identity and figure out who he is. However, this is where he was met with a bombshell. Crystal's period is late, and I do think she is pregnant based on a reaction before Famous came over. Now, we do have to bear in mind that, yes, Kanan did have a son named Sean in Power, but his mother's name was Jarita, not Crystal. Whether the writers stick to the original story, we're not too sure. They could always retcon some storylines and have Crystal have Sean. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Hold on, what?
We had in episode 10. But with Kanan, he's still a teenager who's still trying to figure out his own identity and figure out who he is. However, this is where he was met with a bombshell. Crystal's period is late, and I do think she is pregnant based on a reaction before Famous came over. Now, we do have to bear in mind that, yes, Kanan did have a son named Sean in Power, but his mother's name was Jarita, not Crystal. Whether the writers stick to the original story, we're not too sure. They could always retcon some storylines and have Crystal have Sean. So that's just something to keep in mind. With it being 2 weeks since the events of episode 9, this is the first time Aisha and Duke have spoken since what happened at the mall. Duke was really embarrassed by the FBI taking her in the way they did, after what was supposed to be a life-changing performance for all three girls, not just for Duke. But she let Aisha know what happened wasn't about her. It was the consequences of her family. Although that didn't bother Aisha, she didn't care. She loved Duke for who she was, and despite her being with Kanan for a brief period, it was only because she had feelings about Duke that she didn't really understand. Again, very similar to the situation with Kanan and Crystal, each one of these teenagers are just figuring out their own identity in real time, about who they are, who they want to be, and what they want from life, and it is normal to be scared. Now, one of the major questions going into the last and final episode of Season 3 was, where do they take Duke's storyline with the military? Duke's been very conflicted and confused, where she's been yo-yoing between music and the military for a while. But we did see her actually make her first real decision when she questioned Sergeant Healy about whether she could drop out. That was because for the first time she actually thought a career within the music industry could actually be real after all. However, with Buller seeming like it's no more, that decision seems to have been made. Another reason why she wants to leave Queens is because this life that her family lives in Queens, she knows has consequences. She knows what's going to happen to Kanan. She knows what's going to eventually happen to Rock and Marvin. She also knows what happened to her ex-girlfriend Nicole in season 1. This is why she wants to leave Queens.
You think you get out okay. But then once you're in the clear light of day, you see all the scars. And those scars never go away. They just get deeper.
So what Agent Tanner said to Duke in 309 is definitely true. Even with Duke looking to go to the military to escape, those scars never really go away. And when we actually saw Duke and Kanan back in OG Power, you could tell those scars were deep. Now it's not set in stone, but if Duke does decide to join, she's only leaving one battlefield to join another, which actually sounds crazy when you think about it. She's joining the army to feel safe. But when we break this down and look at the environment Duke has grown up in, it's an environment which is full of violence, death, and drugs. There's also traumatic events that she's been through with Nicole, her mother Kenya, and rejection. So joining the army might actually be seen as a way out to physically remove herself from that environment. But ultimately, the decision to join the army for Duke is a personal one which is influenced by a combination of experiences and individual circumstances which Aisha will never really understand. With Marvin, we picked up with him over at the cemetery where he came to see Gerald's funeral. Now, he was quickly interrupted by 2 FBI agents who told him that this was his fault, which isn't true. Gerald wasn't strong enough to be Agent Tanner's CI, and all Marvin ever did was be there for a friend in need. However, it was made clear that the FBI were hot on his heels. Now, sticking with law enforcement, Howard was called in by Captain Baptiste and Agent Tanner for questioning, and he wasn't happy at the fact that he had to have his union rep in the room, because having his union rep, it makes him look like he's having to defend himself, and according to Howard, he had nothing to hide. However, Captain Baptiste does let him know they're doing everything by the book, which isn't his strong suit, and of course it isn't. We can go all the way back to as early as the opening episodes of season 1, when he was working with Detective Berg in the streets. For as long as we've known Howard, he's never been by the book. Now, he was questioned by Agent Tanner about Gerald Moore, who is Tanner's CI ever since 303, and they think the circumstances surrounding his overdose is suspicious. Now, Detective Howard may not have anything to do with Gerald's overdose, but he does have a lot of skeletons in his closet. He's covered up a lot of tracks and buried a lot of secrets, Detective Berg being one of them, because she was beginning to piece the puzzle which dated all the way back to Rock being Howard's CI, Kanan being their son, and Kanan also shooting him at Paisley Park. However, Agent Tanner wasn't interested in small fish. In fact, he couldn't even give a shit about what happened with Nicole or the NYPD. He was solely focused on what he could get to help him close his investigation. He wanted to know about Howard's connection to Marvin Thomas, but Howard stood firm. He said he has no connection to Marvin, the Italians, or any kind of organized crime. Unfortunately, when you're as dirty as Howard, even if you know the law and the streets, chickens will eventually come home to roost, and Howard had way too many tracks to cover. So he also had to answer for why he put the word out he was looking for Lou Thomas, which rang alarm bells for Agent Tanner. So along with handing his gun back and shield, Howard was given 2 days to get back to Tanner, otherwise they would be forced to issue a warrant for his arrest. Now, as we know, Howard wasn't the only target, so was Marvin, who was having a meeting with his lawyer. However, he was told the FBI didn't have enough evidence, which is why Agent Tanner was just shaking up trees. Tanner's CI didn't really give him much on Marvin. He'd never really got anything from Duke, and Howard hasn't given them much to work with either. But Marvin was rightfully worried because they were putting 2 and 2 together, and he could sense them closing in. Now, continuing with law enforcement, with Agent Tanner, we pick him up going over to Cedar Shores to question Uncle Lou, but this time it was Lou's turn to stand firm. He says that he didn't know anything about any kind of connection between Marvin and Detective Howard, and he also stuck to the same story around Bulletproof Records. In 301, him, Rock, and Howard blamed everything on Crown Camacho, and they were still sticking to the exact same story. So again, Agent Tanner really didn't get anything new, even with the questions around Bulletproof Records and how Lou was able to pay for Cedar Shores. Although it is something to bear in mind for season 4, Agent Tanner will definitely dig deep. Now with Rock, as she was driving by school looking on that kid's playing, no doubt she was reminiscing about the younger Duke and Kanan. Little does she know, she also might become a very young grandmother pretty soon. But she soon found herself being under a hell of a lot of gunfire, and no doubt, this was Ronnie trying to seek revenge for Rock's move on Juliana. There was no way Ronnie was going to stand still and let Rock destroy his operation, because his own persona is to be feared, and without fear, he has no respect. Fortunately for Rock, she was able to get away, although I am very surprised her truck isn't bulletproof like Unique's was.
I'll feel better.
With Famous, we see him coming back to check up on Kanan. The reason why he returned was because word got out on the street that someone tried to hit Rock in a drive-by, which was news to Kanan, but he definitely knew. There was only one guy who was crazy enough to be behind it, Ronnie Mathis. After the drive-by, word was getting out on the street it was Ronnie who was behind the hit. Marvin said that Kanan would never do it, not against his mother, However, sometimes we do save our words for the people that we love the most, and I do agree with Rock. We only have to look at what Kanan did to his own son Sean in Power, and also what he did to Jukebox, who he really has a lot of love for, at least during their childhood. So Rock's right. And we also have to be mindful of whether he could actually get rid of any other family members in raising Kanan. So that's just a thought. Now the problem that Rock and Marvin had was, Kanan was working with Ronnie, so she didn't want to hit back with Kanan in the other trench. Again, another reference to Queen being in a war zone. But she wanted it to be a conversation, or at least try, which meant they had to approach Snaps and Pop.
To just get up at like the last 6 minutes.
Now, when you take a shot at someone as ruthless as Rock, you can't miss, because sometimes you only get one chance. And if you miss, you best believe you ain't gonna get another opportunity. Sometimes it's always best done with your hand rather than sending your own crew or your own son, because at least that way you know the job's done. So we had Snaps making reference to how Lone Ranger never used to send Tonto to do his wet work. He always handled his own business, and that's what Ronnie should have done. If he really wanted to deal with Rock, he really should have got his own hands dirty. Now this is where Kanan came in. He wasn't happy at the fact that Ronnie made the decision to hit Rock, because he made it explicitly clear he went to fuck with his family. It was also clear that Kanan doesn't fear or respect him, and he also wasn't afraid to step to him like others would be in the streets. Over at Famouses, he was in a bit of a crossroad with his life, just like you. Just when he thought he was about to catch his big break in music, to share his contact Mr. Gelfand, who was out in the wind. However, this is when the police came barging in because they had a warrant for his arrest. He was wanted for the murder of Frederick Williams, and so he was taken away. He was then brought in for questioning by Agent Garcia and Peng. Now, the reason why he was here was because his mom turned in the handgun that she found in his room. And I think one of the famous kept the gun that he used on Freddy. It was a risky move. The moment he pulled the trigger, that gun should have been tossed down the river. Unfortunately, her mom wasn't on the right side. She was just trying to protect her son from the dangers of
she
Queens.
decided to go
So we all knew the moment this gun was handed in. It was going to trace back to this moment from season 2. Now,
this is Brooklyn, New York, or whatever, Harlem, New York,
famous stage
or whatever, New York, period.
On the other hand, his mom wanted him to be honest. She wanted him to tell the truth,
possibly
but he knew he had to stick to
all
the
the
same
way with a
story.
gun
Otherwise, law enforcement
brought
were
it
going to
to
lock him away for a very long time.
That's crazy.
Now, this is where
She
Captain
went out of her
Baptiste
way.
came in with Agent Tanner, who were looking out for their own interests. Like he said earlier, he didn't give a shit about the NYPD or any low-level criminal like Freddie Williams. He was after the Sharks, the likes of Detective Howard and Marvin. So they began to question famous man Detective Howard helping him when he was arrested in season 2. So just as a very quick brief history lesson, Freddie had taken money that Kanan was supposed to move from one location to
like how
another.
you pooped
They
in your
then went
diaper
to
back
Freddie
in
to
the
get
day.
that back.
So
And
I
when they
caught
did, Mr. Ventura called the police. They managed to snatch Famous and toss him into a holding cell, where Kanan then reached out to Detective Howard for the assist. So this is a story that will probably rumble on into season 4, with maybe Famous forced into working for Agent Tanner as his new CI. Because let's be real, Agent Tanner didn't have much evidence on either Marvin or Detective Howard. Not enough to make the case stick anyway. It will look like Howard was working with drug dealers, because he will be found next to Ronnie. But will Famous be forced into working for the FBI? And so my last and final point on Famous is, let's not forget, he did open Kanan's daddy test where he read the initials MH. So that's just something to keep in mind for season 4. Now over at Cedar Shores, we had Lou finally gaining a bit of clarity about who he was. Over the course of this breakdown, I referenced how many people have had to look in the mirror, confront who they are, how some are facing an identity crisis, and so on. The same goes for Lou. Finally, he was coming around to the notion that he was Lou Thomas from Southside Jamaica, Queens. When the FBI came to talk to him, he realized he can't hide from who he is, and who he's always going to be, something which he did continue to struggle with. I have no doubt. There is a redemption arc for Lou. With Marvin, Rock wanted him to meet with Snaps and Pop to see if they could deal with the situation with Ronnie in a civil manner, and he gets straight down to business. He asks, where's Ronnie Mathis? Now, we all know Marvin is his brother's keeper. We've seen how much he cares about his baby brother, and also how he's willing to help him get better. But Snaps is the opposite. He isn't Ronnie's keeper. No one can control someone like Ronnie. But Marvin was here to try and de-escalate the situation before shit really got out of hand. With Snaps and Echo, he was all about diplomacy. However, he was also right with saying neither Ronnie or Rock are the negotiating type, which is spot on. Rarely does Rock ever negotiate, and she certainly doesn't kneel for no man. Now, Marvin let it be known that the problem was Kanan being on the center of this tug of war, and Rock didn't want him being hurt, but if they couldn't deal with it in a civil manner, then they know what comes next. However, again, Snaps and Pops aren't people who back down. We saw what Snap said when Rock entered his den. It stopped becoming about Ronnie the moment she strolled in. So if it was a war they were after, they were equally as ready. And in season 4, you can guarantee it will be game on.
Rough up the dude, But
With Howard,
you too
we saw
young,
her coming over
so
to
he
see
don't
Rock,
take you
whose house
serious.
was heavily guarded because of her being hit by Ronnie's crew.
Somehow,
Now, I do actually
equipment
have to
comes
agree with
again,
Rock.
comes along.
Howard walking
The
through a
police
front door
officer
while he
that
was
is
under
your father,
investigation was very sloppy.
who's about to
Because
get
you know who
caught
could
up,
have been watching him, but
possibly
desperate times call
snitch,
for desperate measures. And he repeats what he
goes
said
on,
in
comes,
309.
tags
He tells
along
Rock
with
there's
your
no other way
mom.
out from under the FBI unless Marvin
He's a
takes the
pedo
fall.
on the low,
Meanwhile, on the streets of Queens, we saw
as
Duke
well.
opening up to Kanan about joining the military, a meeting which was set up by
The uncle's
Kanan.
a fuck up
Now, this is where
drinking,
Duke echoed something very similar to what I said earlier in the breakdown.
empathetic
Southside
like
is no
myself.
different to a war zone. Kanan also tells Duke what happened with Rock
They
had
love
nothing to
him,
do
could
with
have
him.
killed
It
him.
was all Ronnie, and he's actually got nothing to do with him anymore. Because
Decided
he's
to
way
bring
too
him to
crazy even for
therapy.
him. Now, this is
As
where Duke
they're
told Kanan.
beefing with,
She knows what Rock has done is fucked up. She's been saying it ever since season 1 when she had Kanan shoot a cop. But she's
one of
also
her
been constantly reminding
badass's
him
brother,
Rock loves him.
Ron.
Rock love you, Kanan.
But sometimes,
Yo,
feel like
who was writing this shit? There's gotta be like
Now, I
30
do
people
agree.
writing this,
Rock
because this
definitely
is
does love
amazing.
Kanan.
Like,
Although I'm not sure whether I agree whether
I
she
was
loves
so
Kanan more
confused.
than everything
I
else.
mean, you supposed
I
to
think
be
we can make a
confused.
very good
That's
argument
amazing.
where
That's
above
great
all,
writing.
Rock loves
That's
power
some shit
and
I would
control.
love to
Everything may revolve
be
around
on.
Kanan, but if she really loved
Think like
Kanan that
that.
much above everything else,
To be
then
able to
maybe
think
she should
like
have just
that
been
and
honest
just
with
write
him when
down,
she had
like, I
tons
can
of
make a story
opportunities
like
to do
that. I
so.
can make a story
Maybe
like
if she
that.
did, they wouldn't have found themselves in
If
the
I knew I
position that they
can
do.
travel
Now,
on
this
and
is where the
make a
conversation was
whole,
interrupted by Ronnie's
like,
crew,
legacy
and
off of
Kanan knew
it,
instantly who was
of course
behind
I can
this.
write a book. I
Because
can
this
write
wasn't
a
just Ronnie's
movie
van. Kanan was
or
always
a
in
show
on this
like
plan,
this
just like Tariq was with Vincent Ragni and the Italians. So I
about
think
like
we just learned where
basketball
Tariq St.
players
Patrick
or
learned
like,
this particular
what I
move
mean?
from. But just like Duke
Their
said,
life
Kanan knew
and
that Rock loved him and she'd do
Connecticut
anything
or
to get him back.
what?
And
That'd
also
be
like Howard once
fire.
said,
Like,
the one way you can get to the Queen is through the Prince. So this was a setup by both Ronnie and Kanan.
definitely, yeah.
Now, with this issue with the FBI closing in,
That's what I'm
Howard
gonna do.
told Rock
Write a
that she was
story
acting
about
like they had options, but he let her know
my
once
life
again
as a
it was
basketball
Marvin
player
or it was
in
him,
Connecticut.
Rock, and Kanan. So it was a pretty simple decision from where he was standing.
Kid going
This is
through the
also where
same
Howard said he
exact
wished he never got involved with them in the
thing.
first place. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to him. He thought he
So
was trying to
reverse
right his
of
wrongs, a chance to be a good
opposite
father
side
and
of
raise his son the right way. But all he's ever been doing
keep that
since
game.
is covering up secrets, lies, and bodies from every single angle. Now, this is where Duke and Marvin came running in.
And how
They told Rock that Kanan had been
all
kidnapped
the
by Ronnie.
other New
A
York,
move Howard knew was made
like,
to get
being
Rock's
so close to New
attention,
York
because he knew better
affected
than
me,
anyone. To get to the Queen, sometimes you do have to go through the
but
Prince.
also help me at
Now,
the
over
same
to the
time. That's
meeting
what
where
I'm
we
doing.
had a lot of strong
That's what I'm
personalities
gonna
sitting
do.
around this table. The
But
main reason
then-
why we were here was because Rock wanted her son back safe and sound, but the cost was going to be huge. Ronnie wanted Rock's
I could've
business and
split
also
it
500k liquid up front,
If
which is a hell of a lot of
did
money.
do the right
More money
thing,
than Rock had lying around,
if I did
although
do
she
the
did know
wrong
one place
thing,
where she could get
if I
such a
just
large
did
sum,
it this way,
Stefano Marchetti.
I
Now,
got so
Howard made
many
it known that he
lanes
wasn't
off
going to
that
go
story.
anywhere. He was going to be there when they
alone.
make the drop, because maybe it was his last good thing that he could ever do, save Kanan. Although he did let Rock know
That's
there
not
was still
like
another price that did need to be
well,
paid, which is a storyline that will only have a partial closure with Howard's death,
TV show.
because it may rumble on into season 4 with potentially
YouTube.
famous being caught in a dilemma. Now, Rock was here because she needed a huge favor from Stefano, which
That
is also
sounds
where
like
we go
some
back to Snaps
shit.
and Pop making a bit of a mistake. I mentioned how Pop had a little thing with Stefano,
Hmm.
and with her telling Rock that she was his type, I said
Like
Rock
that.
could always use that to her advantage, and here she
You know
was.
how many people that
Stefano
I
also
saved?
said he had a little crush. So we saw Rock asking Stefano to help front the cash to help get
And then I
Kanan
can
back,
write about
and she
how,
was willing
like,
to put up a
make my
home
own
along with the
little-
real estate that she did own. Little did she know everything was set up by
That'd
Kanan.
be
Now, after Rock got the money to get Kanan back,
Okay.
this is where we get
Anyway.
to the meet between Ronnie, Howard, and Rock, where Marvin held back. He was holding back just in case things popped off, which they did. Now, Ronnie would never have allowed someone like Howard to come through, considering
Is
he
he
was a
like
cop,
gonna make a
or should I
movie,
say a
be in a
suspended
movie,
cop.
direct a
But it
movie,
seems like
or
Kanan
do
told him who he
something
really
with
was.
a TV
But here
show,
comes the
all that
twist.
stuff.
In very similar fashion to what we saw Tariq
So
pull in
plugged
OG
in.
Power with Vincent Ragni and the Italians, Kanan made the same move. However, shit got fast real quick, where we saw Kanan actually turn the tables on Ronnie Mathis, most likely for going behind his back and trying to hit Rock.
I'm gonna be
So
so
down goes
plugged
Ronnie,
in, like-
but in another twist. Rock thinks fast because she's an opportunist. She grabs Ronnie's gun and did what
I could
needed to be
definitely
done
tell
with
mad
Detective
stories.
Howard,
I got
because she
stories
wasn't willing
all
to sell out her
for
brother.
days. I
She
could
knew it was a
definitely
perfect moment to
write
pin
things
this
down
on
and
Detective
make
Howard.
things up for those
So now it
TV
will definitely
shows
look like Howard was working with the organized crime
Just
families
gotta meet
after
the right
all.
people.
As I mentioned before, Famous is still one to keep an eye on in season 4.
And then
However, that wasn't the end of the
to me,
episode.
oldest
You know,
conversation,
like I know.
motherfucker, what?
Until that body shows up, he ain't dead.
Now, I did say it before, the way they were building up Unique's body not being found, it just made
Exactly.
sense that they were building up for a for a huge return.
I knew he
Now,
was
how he
coming
survived
back.
and who helped him, and what role he's got going forward, who knows? I'm sure those questions will be answered in the coming days through the casting crew's interviews, but definitely season 4. But
This
also, like
shit
the older
right here.
Kanan said, from a 48 laws of power standpoint, If you're going to crush your enemy, make sure you crush them totally. Leave no loose
Exactly.
ends. So there we have it. Detective Howard's gone, Ronnie's gone, and Kadeem Unique Mathis is back. So now the floor is open for you guys to leave your thoughts down below on episode 10. And also your thoughts and theories for season
Episode 10
4
was
and
the
how Unique now
best.
plays a role going forward. Drop all your thoughts and
episode 10.
predictions down below in the comment
That
section. And
was
as
the best.
always, thank you guys for
How
watching,
you
and
not-
I'll see you next time.
That was the best. I'm surprised I didn't follow that. Uh-oh. What's going on with these old gentlemen?
It's not Monique's job to do what she's just done, what she just did. It wasn't Cat Williams' job to do what he did
Let it play.
on Club Shay Shay weeks ago.
Now, Paul, so once he was like, yo, listen, people say I was a sellout, but I never was talking about people's personal lives. I
I
never
was
was,
only criticizing
I was
their,
only
their
criticizing their
performance.
performance on the floor. I wasn't a sellout. I was doing my job. The minute he pivoted and was like, yo, what Monique just did, I said, oh, it's up with him and Shannon. I said, it's
I
up.
did not
Hold
even
on.
see that.
It-
Hold on, what?
I wasn't a sellout. I was doing my job. The minute he pivoted and was like, yo, what Monique just did, I said, oh, it's up with him and Shannon. I said, it's
I
up.
did not even see that.
It
coming.
is
How you?
up.
How?
didn't-
But how?
Up,
To do
up.
what he did
Let it play.
on Club Shay Shay weeks ago.
Now, Paul. So once he was like, yo, listen, people say I was a sellout, but I never was talking about people's personal lives. I
I
never
was
was,
only
I was-
criticizing
I was
their,
only
their
criticizing their
performance.
performance on the floor. I wasn't a sellout. I was doing my job. The minute he pivoted and was like, yo, what Monique just did, I said, oh, it's up with him and Shannon. I said, it's
I
up.
did not even see that
It
coming.
is up.
I didn't see it coming.
It is.
I cannot
I'm so lost.
believe
Yo.
Stephen A. just did that on the Shannon Sharp show
Oh,
on Club Shay Shay.
I said,
I'm
okay.
like, oh my
I
god.
said, okay. And Shannon must be
Yo.
somewhere like, yo,
Oh
you're
my
a weirdo.
God.
Because honestly, you don't have to comment on my show.
At all. You are outside of your job, Stephen A.
You don't have to.
You cover
You
sports.
say you cover sports, and this is. And
But
this
you
is
feel like you must address this?
Right?
You're not doing your job.
no, and two, those are your peoples. Let's
Exactly.
keep going.
Yeah.
Those are your peoples.
Now has over 68
Yeah.
million
Oh, that
views.
is true.
By the
So
way.
now instead of celebrating his 68 million views,
Now it's
It
negative.
wasn't their job to call out.
now it's negative because over
We knew this was
68
gonna
million
happen, though.
people have viewed
We knew that this was gonna happen.
Monique
Anthony
and Cat Williams
thinks for some
talking about
reason
his
he should
friends.
be-
So now he just flipped it
He flipped it. No, he said
because 68 million views is insane.
right. The other thing that's disingenuous about what he's doing is he's basically saying that his job is to criticize people's play on the court, but he doesn't talk about their personal life. And he says that Cat Williams and Monique, right? It wasn't their job to go do that.
Mm.
But this had nothing to do with their job. They went on Shannon Sharp show to talk about their personal experience and
Yeah.
interactions. Cat
In
Williams
the industry, by the way,
and Cat,
which
Cat
is within their job.
Right.
Yeah.
Cat Williams went on it because he felt like there were things that people went on that platform and said that was not true. And he was just like, yo, since you came on the platform and said something's not true, I have to come and clear the record.
Mhm.
Right,
Period. Like,
Right.
he's not adding that context right now.
right,
Monique's been saying all this stuff already.
right.
Everything Monique said, y'all, Monique has
Yes,
been
that's
saying
what
it.
it
Yeah.
But because she,
I didn't watch the whole
but
thing.
because she went on Club Shay Shay,
Right. And
And
he has a
Club Shay
viewership
Shay's
right now. It's
popping.
popping.
it's hot.
Fire.
It's hot, baby. It's hot.
Worse than fish grease.
Stephen A's doing this weirdo. This is the reason
Yo.
why those of us
Ooh,
who
worse
like
than
yo,
bacon grease.
Stephen A. Is
This
because
is why people
does
call
stuff
him
like
a
this.
self.
It wasn't their job. That was a choice.
it was.
Yes,
choice.
it was a
A
choice.
To talk about their
choice
personal
that
life.
extended
Right,
far
within
beyond
the
the corridors
industry.
of their job.
He mad.
Oh
he
my
mad at
God.
people being
That
discussed.
now has
Yo,
Black
Shay Shay is the
America.
best interviewer.
Oh.
taking sides.
Oh, this is what
Since-
got
really?
this is what got Black America.
I don't even know because
Is Monique and Cat
And
Williams.
he's the best interviewer.
With an elevated
He's gonna
level
be
of
the greatest
skepticism
interviewer.
Oh,
and
stop it.
discussion,
For respect, what?
while
Because he
having
knows how to do.
others
He knows how to talk
outside
to
of our
both, and he just
community
let them talk, and that's what
look at us
everybody
that
wants.
way as
People
well.
just let it go.
Now, let me say
and
something
that's
about
a
this.
subject that we're
If you
Let me say
ask
something
me,
right now. Okay, when Stephen A. says Black people got black people looking bad, and the others
Yeah, but
are
black
looking at
people
us that
also
way
need to
too.
air
Outside the
out,
community,
like,
Hold on one
mind you.
second.
Other
Hold on,
outside of the
hold on,
when you
hold
at a
on.
position
When
like
he's talking
Shannon
about
Sharp's
others, he's talking about
position,
white
you
people.
make
Yes.
money for so
I'm
long,
sorry,
and
but
you're
the
handsome and in
ancestors of
shape,
these
and
white people that are
what
here
you
right
gonna
now
do? You know,
was
like,
lynching
so
us after slavery, had 268 years of legal slavery, and have brutalized black
we
bodies
should be
for over
able to
500 years. So I don't care, and
What
he
the
shouldn't
other
care,
talk
think.
about
and
each
none
other.
of us should care
What
what
the
the others
others
think
think.
about what we're doing at all.
Period.
Matter of fact, let me say
Period.
this. Historically, we've cared way too much to be where they are and to be at tables they're at. That's part of our problem. Part of our problem is we feel like, man, we got to be. So the others, shut the hell up. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. So don't even bring that up. Yo, let me tell you something.
I don't know what he
Let
just
me tell you
said.
something. And we say this all the time. We always say, you know, all skin folk ain't kin folk. That's true for
True
all
shit.
of us. There's people that all of us as black people bang with, and there's other black
Mhm.
people that we don't bang with, and there's black people that bang with other black people, and black people who don't bang with us. So like, just as human beings, we're not all gonna get along. All
Mhm.
lions don't get along. All of this species don't get along. So let's just cut the
stop
crap.
right.
Yeah, shit
Let's
is
just cut the crap.
extremely cordial,
Okay?
though.
If people choose to come on
If
a
it's
podcast to
strange.
talk about their personal experience, that's their personal experience. If people feel like they have been done wrong personally, Stephen A.'s trying to conflate with a job versus people's personal experience. Cat Williams and Monique weren't doing the job. They were telling their story, or they
I'm
were
not-
correcting a
I gotta
narrative.
get this.
You know what I'm saying?
loose.
So, and
I'm
the
tired of
other
feeling
thing
this
too
pain.
is that everything Monique said on that show, she has been saying. She says that
And
on
I'm showing
every
you.
interview that she does. So there was nothing new there, right? Stephen A., those are your peoples.
So you know where I come
Shannon
from.
Sharp is starting to get a level
Go
of
back
exposure that's killing
and see where I
everybody.
came from. All this
It's
stretching.
killing everybody.
Here's the thing.
I don't like keeping
Even when
pain
he's
and
like,
stress in my
you know,
body. I gotta talk about it. I gotta go to the
you know,
gym
we
and
have
beat
people
my
like
body up about it.
Monique and Cat
So,
Williams,
I'm
you know, talking
I'm
about
empty
and
it
airing out
somewhere.
dirty laundry
And
for
I
these
used
other
to do it in like
high,
having sex with,
well-to-do
you know, when
black
fucking the shit out of
people
my girl or whatever
in
happened.
America.
But like now it's like
Monique
I
is
don't have
literally
that. I give
saying,
myself
I went to
distance from
Kevin
all that
Hart
stuff.
one-on-one
all the things that would
to
ever
try to
make me,
address this.
You know,
Yep.
And then it got flipped
fall
on
off
me.
track.
Yep.
And then it happened
I'm done.
again.
I
What is she
completely-
supposed
so
to do? She
when I
tried
step
to
back
go
into
to
the
him
world, I gotta
one-on-one
control myself.
personally.
But
And it
I'm
didn't
getting the
work.
demons out my body. So I got the demons
So
out my
now
mind.
we're upset because she's saying on a
And then I
platform,
don't have
hey,
to,
this
you know,
happened.
spew any more demons
I
out
tried to
other
go to him
people and
one-on-one.
affect anybody. That's
She
the goal.
feels like
That's
she's
what
being
I'm
treated
looking at
unfairly
things.
within her industry that this
I
guy
don't care
is
what
a part
nobody
of.
thinks about me. I'm
What
gonna
else
do
is
what
she
I
supposed
gotta
to
do to make
Yeah.
myself feel better. Because
And
if I had
has
to do
lost,
this at
and in her
47,
estimation, has
then you'd
lost
be thinking,
millions
yo, what
upon
the fuck's
millions
going
upon
on?
millions.
Like,
It gets so
but
when
at
you frame it
37,
like,
yes, it looks bad,
yo, it's not
but
your job
it's not
to
as
boom,
bad
boom.
because I know.
And I'm
this
losing
wild
millions
and
because of
this
how
skin
people are
and
moving
this
behind the
body is
scenes
gonna
and how it's
be
impacting my
illuminating
personal life.
even
Like,
more
you're trying
when
to
I
make
get to that
something seem apples
frequency.
to apples that's
'Cause
not.
I'm on it
But it's
already
just a, but
hovering.
it's just a
It's just I
tactic
gotta break through
Mhm.
mold.
to protect the
And
elite
then
of
to
the
get rid
elite
of all the
that you want to
demons
be
you
with
can't
and that you want to
forward.
protect.
Yep,
Straight up.
God,
straight up.
On
if
his
you
show.
don't accept,
If that's how they feel, that's how they
then you
feel.
have to clean yourself. of
Now, would I
all
have been a little bit
old
different?
past.
Sure, because I'm a
So,
trained journalist.
speaking it out,
And as a
getting it
result,
out.
the level of pushback that I would give, I'm seasoned and trained to do it, spanning 30 years. When Shannon Sharp was on Club Shay Shay or
Hey,
Nightcap,
what is he saying
rather,
now? He's
weeks
saying,
ago,
say,
and he said to Chat,
I feel like
This
he's
old
saying,
man drama. That's all it is. Old grumpy men drama. They got money. More money than me right now. I don't care about that. Mike Vick. He had a story. Fighting to live.
He's said to him,
We'll see.
I have been in LA for like a month now, and my friend took me to see a psychic. And clap if you believe in this stuff. I'm always curious.
That's
Okay, there's a lot of you not being honest. That business is booming out here. My God. I don't don't really believe in that stuff, but I was like, all right, I think it'd be fun, you know. And I thought I was gonna get like a really vague reading, you know. But then this guy actually gave me a lot of specifics. All right, this is what he told me. He was like, oh, I actually see you meeting someone very soon. All right, he's gonna be 6'5", mixed, but not mixed like half Irish, half Italian. I mean mixed like half white, half black. Nice teeth, and you know him. I was like, I know him. He's like, yeah, you know him. You met him before. Like, I see him orbiting your circles. You definitely know this guy. I was like, I don't think I know that dude. And he was like, trust me, you know him. I was like, yeah, trust me. If I knew that dude, I'd be trying to fuck him right now. I wouldn't be here. What? I'd be at his door making something happen. Okay? I'm not shy. All right? But then when we left, my friend was actually like a little nervous. She asked me, she was like, oh, you said you were going to date a guy who's mixed. Like, have you ever even dated a black guy? And I feel like that's a dumb question, because I've lived in New York City for 10 years, and I've been single the whole time. So,
That's cool.
yeah, it's like the most diverse city in the world. So it's like,
That's
black dude, okay, please. My sexual history looks like the table at the United Nations, all right? Don't awe that. That's what it should look like, all right? My pussy has more stamps than my passport, if I'm being honest. Yeah, girls, you can really travel the world, not leave one place. You can really see it all. But it's interesting, so many people still have like a little stigma with interracial relationships, you know? Like people will always ask me when they find out, they're like, oh, you dated a black guy, is it different? I'm like, all right, first of all, I'm one person, you know? I can't speak for everybody. But for me, I think the biggest difference between white dudes and black dudes were the compliments. Yeah, I don't know if you dated a black guy, but if you dated a white one, you know they give the worst compliments I've ever heard in my life. Just terrible hype man, you know? Like any white dude I dated, the best I would ever get was just, oh, you look nice.
Yeah, she's
I'm like, what are you,
funny.
my fucking dad? Like, come on, man, I tried,
That's me.
you know? Black dudes are so good at compliments, they can say something you hate about yourself and make you love it. That's a skill. You can just show up and they'll be like, hey, girl, that's cellulite? I'm like, stop. Oh, you're making me blush. Oh, I'm really glad you guys were cool with that joke.
She's funny.
I feel like the minute I say I dated a black dude, I get that look from black women like,
She's a linebacker, of
another
course.
white girl taking our men. Okay.
Yeah,
Another one
girl,
taking our men.
she wants to
And I just want you guys to know, truly, he didn't commit to me either, sis. So,
She didn't commit to me. She's hilarious.
I didn't take anybody. I borrowed one for a bill bit. Anyway, I'm Eric Spiro. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah, she's hilarious. Oh, go back.
Homie the Clown. All moon. Known for Richard Pryor, was not only a screen and writer, but also a psychologist.
All morning.
Also, it's psychology.
Paul Mooney.
Mr. Paul Mooney.
You know, some of these might get copyrighted, but it doesn't really matter. It's just nice to be in front of the camera, kind of spewing out the dumb stuff that I'm thinking about. It's like filtering out dumb stuff, so I don't really care about what people feel. But
Thank you.
that's what it is. I'm gonna get my body right, and I'm gonna get my money right. I'm doing it, so. And after all, you know what I'm saying.
They did this.
No, you can have it. They made a mistake. They made a mistake because I don't drink. I'm on the wagon. I don't drink, so that's a mistake. Yeah, that's what they like to do. Get niggas drunk so they can sell them. I live in New York. What am I doing in Mississippi? You got drunk, nigga. Two things in black people's genes. You don't drink, you don't get drunk, and you don't fall asleep. Nigga falls asleep, he will get sold. Well, hey, I'm glad to be here in Hollywood, but I just want to say out loud, I'm not Hollywood. I'm neighborhood. I have to stay neighborhood. I cannot go Hollywood. I'm neighborhood. I'm neighborhood. And I am so blessed and I'm so happy because the Mexicans got their nigga wake-up call.
Yeah, he banged. Damn. That's crazy.
Wake up, nigga. A nigga wake-up call's a bitch. The Mexicans got their nigga wake-up call. They were running around here thinking they were white folks.
What the fuck is this nigga talking about?
They got their wake-up call, trust me. Well, they know now. They was running around here thinking, look, they know now. See, white people know who's white. You can look like you white, but they know who's white, who ain't white. The nigga wake-up call's a bitch. I love every minute of it because it's wonderful. And the white press tried to diss the Mexicans. They
What
tried to
made me
diss
watch
them.
this? Look, I can't watch this. Oh, God. Anyway, I want to watch some comedy, though. All right, Grammy Award.
Yes, sir. Let us know about station is Album 79, your Dirty J Nix Flies Ghana Radio, and we meet again. Last time we talked over some online thing, but it was a good conversation me and Mr. Michael had. We also talked about this album, and months later, we talked about it being so worthy of having a Grammy and winning a Grammy, and he swept.
Yeah, swept all three.
Swept all three.
Best rap song, best rap performance, and rap album of the year.
We said it.
Yeah.
On our last interview.
Better believe it.
So how do you feel about that? Just like that just coming to pass.
Like,
Of course
right,
we talk about
like
it.
I manifested it. Like I put 2.5 years of my life into giving the story of me in Atlanta, and it paid off. I appreciate the 40 count, I appreciate everybody both of it. But more and bigger, I just appreciate the city for co-starring in this story. You know what I'm saying? And, it's just the first. It's the first of 3 Michaels in the first year of a 10-year run. So let's see what we do in the next 10 years.
So what does it feel like winning the Grammy? 3, not only 1, but 3.
I won my first Grammy 20 years ago. Okay. And
but just I feel like that's I went Outkast. This all killer.
Yeah, but I went crazy on the verse. So I'll never let nobody take that.
Okay.
You know, I ain't never took no L. My man's right. He be getting on y'all song, wiping y'all. Yeah, but so for me though, it was important to win on my own because I've been a part of a successful rap group the last 11 years. I'm not hurting for money. We tour 120 days a year. We're a rap group that's rock and roll stages. We just opened Rage Against the Machine on their last tour. So I was straight in terms of accolades. I've won awards. I've toured the world. I do well. But I had never properly introduced myself, Michael, one half of Run the Jewels, known as Killer Mike, to the world. So I just felt compelled to do it. And then as we started making the record, me and Cuz Lightyear, A&R director, shouts out to Cuz, as we started making it, we started realizing the quality of music we were doing, the story we were telling was Grammy worthy. So that's what, when I signed Loma Vista, I did a partnership with Villains, my company in Loma Vista, they asked, well, what can we do? I knew I was going to grow platform, grow audience. I knew partnering was going to help me bring stuff to radio, video, stuff like that. But I told them I want to win Grammy. And that's what I went for. And we wanted to win 1, but they wanted to win 1 of 3. You know what I'm saying? They said, well, you know, if we get nominated and honored, get 1 will be an accomplishment. We'd be satisfied. I won't be satisfied with anyone but rap album of the year. And I won all 3. And I quiet about it. I worked, I shook hands, went around, performed the album everywhere I could and should. And we came home. We swept. We brought it home to Atlanta.
So what was it like waiting there for them to call your name? I watched so many different, like I think behind the scenes and stuff. How they just have you in the space and just like, well, let me hit you right here just in case you win.
Right. When I walked out of my hotel in Haliaco, I think I'm pronouncing it right, the suit. My guy was amazing. Man, keep me T.I.G. looking crazy. So black designer right here. So I got out in the $3,000-$5,000 tuxedo. Come on now. I walk out to this $80,000 Regal. Come on now. Got an 87 Grand National with LT4 and CO6 in it. It just got built. So I walk downstairs and there it is on an American Racer Torch Rush wheels. It got the Bear Brake 14-inch caliber. So I'm feeling like new money already.
Come on now.
I got this bracelet from my man Staff Custom. And so everything about the day is going great. And then we sit down, we get our chairs and sit down in the audience. Within 8 minutes, I hear my name called. We go up there and we get the first one. And then I'm finna go and the guy says, hold up, you might want to stick around. The second one falls. Bam, they call my name again. And after that, I just said, I know I got the third one. I know I got a rap album. So I didn't even try to go back to my seat. And I had asked my old lady, I don't know if people heard me, but I said, you know what, my old lady, what's saying? And when that third one, next thing I know, man, I just seen that short skirt and high heels running through my way. So I just, I'm excited. I'm excited for the city. I'm excited because the next day I was in the studio with Mike. We were working. So, just know, man, I'm going to keep rapping for the city like nobody else will.
Do you feel like this is your most pivotal moment as far as your career? Because now you're getting all the accolades that I feel like you've always deserved. I feel like you've always been under. You know what I'm saying?
I've been underrated.
Yeah,
Overlooked.
come on, let's talk.
I mean, some of it. I said it in Rich. I said it's underwhelming to be so overly underrated. You know, so for me, I know I was underrated. I know I was an underdog. But this victory show you the underdog can win. And for the next 10, y'all gonna have to see me because I ain't got nothing but a bunch more good music, a bunch more good ideas and collaboration. I look forward to seeing this city grow. People like it's grown. Me, JID. I look forward to Kenny Mason coming to his own. You know, this city has lyricists, it has spitters, and it has people with dope grooves and jams and just vibes. So Atlanta's one of the only cities where you can get 4 or 5 different styles and versions and everything is dope. And I'm happy to be a part of that. And I'm gonna keep doing it. Like I said, I'm gonna be around 9, 10 more years.
What would you say to like like I guess the OGs? I feel like I think we talked before. This is the only genre of music as far as rap that people put an age on. Like you slow rap, you slow this, but it's just still music.
Man, do Ball and G, don't stop. I go to see Ball and G at least once, twice a year. When they drop new music, I'm listening. You know, so for me, I would say OGs don't stop. I know Wicked got a new record out there with him and CeeLo. You know what I'm saying? It's dope. So for me, I try to make music that has show a more mature me. But I'm not trying to be no old man. I ain't out here trying to yell at you, give you no advice. Right. I'm just tell you how I do it. I used to be all about the booze and the cruising. Now I'm just cruising. You know what I'm saying? I ain't drinking as much. So for me, man, just do what's true to you, and there's an audience for it. You know.
Yo, definitely congratulations on your 3 Grammys. But you been doing other stuff too. How was the SmackDown? What was it like?
Oh man, SmackDown. Shout out to Cody Rhodes, man. American Idol, man. My story, like we had put up me and my manager Will, my man Hollywood and A-Dog all went and had a ball. I love wrestling. I done rediscovered my love for it. So expect to see me at more events. Shout out to Cody, I'm supporting you, man. You know what I mean? And shout out to Rick Flair. Rick Flair sent me a congratulations yesterday. It's up on my page.
Come on, that's hard.
Come on, man. Rick Flair.
Oh, gee,
Flair said to beat the man, you gotta beat the man.
Come on, man.
Say, Killer Mike, my friend, you looking real unbeatable right now.
Come on, man. That's hard. That's hard. Atlanta Hawks performance today. You're doing the thing. You're working.
I'm working.
How was the Hawks performance?
The Hawks performance was amazing. Just my partnership with the Hawks and the Swag Shop has been amazing. Now that I'm back home, y'all gonna see me at some more games. I miss my guys, man. I'm glad we ain't making the trades. I think we got a team that we can build into something. You know what I mean? I got a lot of love for the Hawks as an organization. Got a lot of love for them as a team. I look forward to supporting them all the way through.
Okay, as a Hawks fan, being from Atlanta, what you think we need? What we missing?
Man, I think we toughen it up on defense. I'm seeing Trey go and grab and steal some dudes, man. You know, you can always use an extra big guy. You know what I'm saying? Man, like when you think about it, man, what if we had Jamal coming as a 6 man right now? You know what I'm saying? What if we had Dikembe in his prime right now? So I think we're gonna get a mean 6 man coming off the bench at some point. Okay. I think we're gonna beef up our big men some. You know, them boys can't wait. They didn't wait. Come on, so they ain't gonna take them. Shout out to Murray, man. That's what the game going for a couple weeks ago. So, you know, for me, man, I'm just looking forward because it's all about self-improvement. I think every guy on that team is dedicated to self-improving themselves. And the same thing I do with music. Eventually, you're gonna stroke. You're gonna sweep.
While we still talking about sports, Falcons season, football season's on the way. You know what I'm saying? What you think we can do to enhance our Falcons? If Killer Mike was the coach, what's the movie? What quarterback you want to get?
Man, I don't know. What I do know is Cam is in town, and Cam said he want to work close to home.
Come on now.
So I'm not mad at Cam, but man, I don't know. I know the Falcons, man, should be perennial dogs, and I think that it's gonna happen eventually. I think we got a coach that understands defense is gonna be defensive minded. I think we need to be like Burton, play for real. We need to be putting pressure on our quarterback. Trent Dilfer wasn't much of a quarterback. He got a Super Bowl ring. He had a tenacious defense around him. So if I was just saying what I'd like to see from the Falcons, I'd just like to see us build a defense that's damn near invincible.
What would you feel like? How would you feel if Deion came back to Atlanta with his sons?
Oh man, shout out to Sam.
Just think about it.
Shout out to Sam. I'm telling you, you might mess around and get a hooper from Neek too. Neek's son, I think, is out there following. But you know, Atlanta got real legacies, man. So man, Deion never came back to town in whatever capacity. We'll be happy to have Coach Prime.
Come on now. So speaking of football, Super Bowl, the big game, just right on the corner.
Yeah,
heard you doing shows out the Super Bowl. What you got going on out there, man? You guys want to see you?
Playing with the Madden Bowl. Yeah, playing the Madden Bowl. Me and Big Boy playing Madden Bowl. So we'll see you. Time to get down there tomorrow. My wife probably gonna gamble like crazy. I'll come back home.
You got it?
Saturday. And then I'm in New York. I'm doing late night New York next Tuesday.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
I love to see it. So okay, so I heard that after the Grammys. Like Grammys definitely was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Nationwide deal. Your streams went up 700%.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom doing the math of that. Like 700% is a lot. I get 100%, but 700% streams going up.
Yeah.
Like how does that work? Like
I don't know. Our wife worked for me. They got excited. They called going crazy. I said, "What do you mean?" My booker called me more than I knew what it mean though. They said your pricing went up about $20,000 per show. Just got $120,000 offers.
Come on, Mike.
I'm mad at it.
Come on, Mike.
So, man, run it up some more, please.
It seems like I said it's so crazy. Like I said last time we talked about it, just being the older guys, just the more mature cats, the OGs rapping and still being able to go get a bag. It's out there. You see Nelly Torn.
Yeah.
You see Keith Sweat ain't going nowhere.
Why would it?
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying. I'm proud of you, bro. Like, I ain't even saying nothing.
I'm proud to be a rep for the city. Man.
And I remember overseas shows. You about to overseas too?
Yeah, I do overseas also again.
This is about to be.
I went over there. We did London. When we go about 4 or 5 months ago, about 4 or 5 months over there. We did London, Scotland, Ireland. You know what I mean? We run UK by city, and we had a ball. You know what I mean? You got to put in. You got to go there and do the promo. Then they call and say we want to pay you some more.
Okay. So, they got the promo to get paid some more. Yeah, I know what you talking about, man. Well, definitely I'm proud of you, bro. What else you got coming out there that we got to look out for?
Man, Bankhead Seafood is opening in the next 60 to 65 days. So right now, I think 16, 65 dollars a hour, but it's right on Bankhead. Okay. So you come see us down there. We're gonna swag shop. We're gonna open up like 2 or 3 more swag shops. Okay. My wife and I. You know, my wife, she develops real estate. So expect some cool news be coming that's gonna be helping on the way up affordable housing in the city. So, shout out to Shay Bitters. She's mean with her mind in terms of that. But just growing my brand. Swag shop got some products dropping. I think y'all gonna enjoy them. And man, shout out to the Big and Tall Lifestyle brand Grand. They hooked me up with some cool stuff. So I want to shout them out, man. Y'all y'all gonna see me right when Rock Nation.
Well, I can't wait to see what's in store for you, big dog, and I continue to push the culture forward. And one last thing, what would you tell some of the young cats as far as the culture in Atlanta right now? Because we had a big thing about the DJs and artists going back and forth, but I feel like me not being from Atlanta, I've been out here for 18 years, I've definitely done a lot of work, but I came to the city because I was in love with the city and put forth my last 18 years to make sure I push the culture forward to the city support. So I just really think that it's just a miscommunication with the DJs and the artists.
Yeah, I think what's beautiful about the city is we have a symbiotic relationship. This one, if it wasn't been for DJ Funky and the coalition DJs and what they've done, I don't know if some of my music would have gotten pushed at all. And I'm not a radio artist. I've been an artist, a word of mouth artist. Have you checked out? I wouldn't have made Gucci if it wasn't for Funky.
Right.
So the DJs, you see them right here today with Cutting Out the Swiftly, Outkast DJ. The DJs are a vital part because they keep their ear to the streets. The DJs, and I'm telling you, secondary, the dancers. The DJs and the dancers help. But with that said, the music that's moving in the club is not the only music because the same DJs that play the music that make the booty move, to me have made my mind groove. When you talk about Spearhead X played as much hip hop in my youth as he did, music that was made to make it dance groove. So I want to encourage Atlanta to stay diverse, and that means I want you to be able to listen to the local rappers that's on the corner. I want you to be able to listen to Baby and what him and Rollo Rodriguez do. I want you to be able to listen to what Kenny Mason and JID is doing because the coolest part about being a black person in Atlanta is we're not among is all type of black folks from the high brow to the low crust to the low hanging fruit to the bourgeoisie. And I think the coolest part of it is we all get to party together. We all get to hang out together. So let's stop separating and let's stop acting like age or economics matters more than just black folks getting together having a good time.
Come on now. I got to shout out to Loney, that's one of my favorite artists I'm listening to right now. You gotta check him out. He hard.
Yeah, just send it to me. Just send me a tip. I just want to check it out, man. I gotta shout out Kenny, man. Like I say, Kenny is just, man, he's to me, and Nudie, of course. Like Nudie, shout out to Nudie for jumping on Echo with me. But when it comes to those two kids, Nudie and Kenny to me just impressed me with stylistically what they do. Kenny just, man, it's just, man, the rhyme patterns and the thought he put into it is just amazing. So just support young artists, support Atlanta artists, period. Because if Mojo drop a tape, I'm buying it tomorrow.
Come on, stop playing, man.
Hey.
Tell Mike, ladies and gentlemen, you know what's going on? Hey, Michael out in stores right now, streaming about 55 times. Let's take that thing up to 800,000 streams. You hear me? It's going down. Killer. Song 79.
Kind of over rap. If it's not something I already know, I don't really care for it.
Yes, sir. 11th away. No.
What heckle into the brawl?
Oh, that guy has a rough night. Not only did his book get roasted to the fucking moon.
Not Baltimore, I tell you that shit. This ain't Baltimore. It's Timonium, Like y'all better than Baltimore. Baltimore killed 1,000 people. Y'all kill 800. You know what I'm saying? We know we kill 800 people like shit. Who? What's his name? Bodymore. That's what I heard earlier. Bulletmore. I went to Baltimore, nigga. That shit look like Hiroshima. I seen a nigga come out of a business with no window. What the fuck is that? Nigga got no window. One black goes out your home. Nigga, how the fuck you living in that bitch? Nigga living bad in Baltimore. Y'all need to condemn the whole city. Huh? LA's way better. Sorry for supporting you, y'all. We're a county of 16 million people. 10 million been robbed a month. No, why would I go to Lancaster? I'm living in LA. Please make it make sense. Why the fuck would I go to Lancaster? Why the fuck would I go? Please make it make sense. Why the fuck would I go to Lancaster? LA's not better. You got your fucking mind. You ever been to LA? You ever been to LA? You been to LA? When's the last time? So you saw that LA was better. How many abandoned fucking buildings did you see in LA? What? LA is way better than Baltimore, sweetheart. There's a whole block of abandoned buildings. I'm sorry that your white guilt makes you feel bad. It's systemic racism. It's oppression. They can't do any better because they don't know any better. I can tell you make more money in a minute because he let me talk out of turn. It's like a nigga let that bitch talk like that. What the fuck? Nigga, act like you make $5 more this bitch. Shut up, fuck, man. I wish my girlfriend would be that bitch nigga. Bitch, you be walking home. And come to your hotel. Like, what the fuck? Shut up, nigga, that ass up. We know you don't look good because good-looking girls don't have opinions. Good-looking girls know 4 words. My girlfriend is gorgeous. That bitch know 4 words. Yeah, come up here, let us see you. So you think I know you got your ass at home, bitch. Yeah, I see your motherfucking movie picture body ass. Yeah, they got them goddamn old baby shorts on. Don't get the fuck up my head. It's your best outfit, big shit. Don't need some crab legs. Don't tell your nigga about you drink, man. You don't know. You ain't got no buzz. You just talking out there, bitch. You got full of potato chips and Reese's cups tonight. Your nigga is bogus as fuck when you come out the house with that bullshit on. I wish you got some sandals on, don't you, bitch? I can tell you ain't got no clothes, no shoes on the way you talk. Let me see your foot, bitch. Show me your foot. Because I know you got some sandals on, some unmanicured ass feet, bitch. Let me see those unmanicured ass toes, homie. You fucking gluten allergy ass bitch. ass you ain't got. Got some Lululemon under that dress, bitch? Yeah, come on up. Let me see you close. Let me see you on that pale bitch.
Oh man, but he always brings people up on stage. Fuck, I forgot this little bro.
Baby phone.
Pretty well, Phil.
What?
Baby phone.
Pretty well, Phil. Pretty well. 10 years.
Hold
What
on.
you see here is the highly distressing footage of a firefighter named Don Herbert waking up after being stuck in a coma for nearly 10 entire years. The crazy thing was, pretty much every doctor that had ever taken a look at Don had assessed that his brain damage was much too severe and that he would never regain full consciousness again. This was simply the leading medical belief at the time, that when brain damage has been done and a person's consciousness has been lost, that damage cannot be reversed and that consciousness cannot be recovered. So when Don suddenly woke up from his coma after 10 long years of being pretty much completely unresponsive, and he was actually lucid, able to immediately reflect on himself and hold full conversations, doctors everywhere were completely baffled. Don's case was going to contribute to a significant change in the way that doctors perceived consciousness in brain injuries. And this is his full story. On the morning of December 29, 1995, Don Herbert, 34 years old at the time, was helping fight a large fire inside a 2.5-story apartment building in Buffalo, New York. However, as Don was doing one final sweep of the building's rapidly burning attic for any people that may have been left behind, the roof suddenly collapsed. Before he could even react, a sharp, painful force immediately ripped through his body as falling chunks of burning ceiling pieces and other debris knocked him onto the ground, hitting him there. Since Don's oxygen mask had been damaged by the debris and his fall, to his horror, it was no longer functional. So, as he was trapped on the floor, disoriented and shocked from the chaos, desperately trying to squirm out from under a heavy pile of burning ceiling tiles, he was slowly suffocating to death from the heavy, thick black smoke in the air. By the time the other firefighters finally managed to find him and pulled him out from underneath all that rubble, Don's brain had already been starved of oxygen for over 6 minutes. For context, death usually occurs after around 5 minutes. Don was quickly rushed to the nearest hospital, but by then, it was already too late. On the way there, he suffered a cardiac arrest, and when he arrived, doctors found that he was already in a coma. Over the next few weeks, medical staff at the hospital did everything that they could to treat Don's many injuries and to help him wake up again. Don's devastated wife and 4 children were by his side around the clock, frantically pleading and begging for him to be okay. Since Don was widely known and respected as an amazing family man, as well as an amazing firefighter who had previously received several awards for his bravery and leadership, a mountain of cards and letters had soon been delivered to him from friends, family members, neighbors, and other firefighters. Before long, people would also raise tens of thousands of dollars for him and his family as well. Incredibly, although Don had suffered very severe permanent brain damage as a result of the oxygen deprivation he experienced, at first, things were actually looking fairly promising. After remaining in a coma for around 2.5 months, Don suddenly woke up. Granted, he was still in a very fragile and injured state. His speech was slurred, he could never eat anything without assistance, he had to be confined to his bed or a wheelchair all the time, and he could also no longer see much of anything outside of just blurs. Most concerning of all, Don had pretty much no memory of anything anymore. It just suddenly seemed like he no longer even remembered who he was, like his age or what his job had been. Furthermore, he could no longer recognize the voices and names of his family members and friends, and he treated even his wife and kids like they were mere strangers. Despite this, however, there was still hope that Don could continue to recover and improve in his health. But unfortunately, just a few months after he regained consciousness, he once again slipped into a coma, and this time it seemed like he would remain that way for good. Although Don's wife, Linda, tried taking him to several neurologists, asking each of them whether there was any chance at all that he could get better and wake up again, she was given the same crushing answer every time: no. By that point, Don was completely locked into this minimally conscious state and was only being kept alive by feeding tubes. He spent most of his time slumped over in his wheelchair in front of a TV, completely unaware of his surroundings and completely unable to listen to or communicate with the people around him. As such, realizing from all these doctors and also from just looking at Don that he was basically as good as dead, Linda was overcome with grief. She was eventually forced to make the terrible decision to move Don from his hospital bed to a nursing home, and she also signed a form stating that Don shouldn't be resuscitated and should just be allowed to die in the event of a stroke or a heart attack. But although Linda and basically everyone else all expected Don to pass away relatively soon, interestingly, his condition remained stable over the years, neither improving nor deteriorating. As Don remained in his minimally conscious comatose state, Linda incredibly always made sure to go out of her way to keep him in their children's lives. She would always bring Don to birthdays and holidays with them, even though he would just sit slumped over in his wheelchair without any bit of consciousness. No one expected that he would ever regain consciousness again. But then, on the morning of April 30, 2005, almost 10 years after Don's accident, he suddenly woke up from his coma. You see, just 3 months before, his doctors suddenly decided to start giving him some drugs that were normally used to treat Parkinson's disease, ADHD, and depression. At the time, these drugs had started to show a little bit of promise in healing patients with severe brain damage. But even then, this was only for patients with recent brain damage. No one had ever expected that the drugs would actually have an impact on Don, whose brain had completely debilitated for nearly a decade by that point. But by some incredible miracle, these drugs did have an impact, an incredible, almost incomprehensible impact. Right after Don woke up from his coma, despite the fact that he hadn't spoken a word in almost 10 years, and also the fact that he likely hadn't had a conscious thought in years either, one of the first things he said was, "I want to talk to my wife." His speech was heavily slurred, but the fact that he was even speaking and thinking clearly at all, which is completely remarkable. After performing some quick tests, a staff member at the nursing home called Linda on her cell. Although she didn't pick up, Don's 13-year-old son Nicholas did, and was shocked to learn that somehow, against all odds, his dad had woken up from his coma. When Don was told who it was on the other end of the phone, at first he just refused to believe it. That can't be, he was quoted as saying. He's just a baby. He can't talk. When Don had first fallen into his coma in 1995, Nicholas had indeed just been a baby at 3 years old. But although in Don's mind, he was convinced that he had only been asleep for 3 months, he was horrified to soon learn the real amount of time that had actually passed.
That's crazy.
Wait a while, pal. Wait a while. 10 years. Don was heartbroken. He felt like he had abandoned his family and that he hadn't been
His
able to be there with them
family
over the past
had
10
money
long
if they
years.
had
It was just this horribly
10
deep sensation of
years.
guilt, shame, frustration, and sadness that came from losing out on such a big chunk of his life and seeing his kids grow up. Over the next couple of hours, as news spread of Don's miraculous recovery, friends and family members from all over raced to the hospital to reunite with him, a man they had long thought they had already lost. Incredibly, Don was more lucid and conscious than anyone could have ever imagined, which was shocking considering his state the first time he had woken up from his coma 9 years before. Although he was still pretty much blind, his memory seemed to have suddenly come back. And despite how long it had been, he was able to recognize his old friends, family, and also members of his old fire group just from hearing their voices. For a brief, beautiful moment, it seemed to everyone that they might have their old Don back for good. He stayed up all night that night, catching up with his sons, and was even able to play literal catch with them. At one point, he reached out to pat his son Nicholas's head, but realized that he was aiming in an area that was now half of his son's height, since Nicholas had grown so much in the decade that Don had been gone. It was clear to everyone how sad Don was, but his family was just incredibly grateful to be able to talk to him again, and to say the things to him that they had always wanted to say. It was a very heartfelt and bittersweet reunion, but after just 14 hours of being almost completely lucid, Don suddenly lost his mental clarity. Although he could still hold short conversations with people every now and then, he was never able to return back to that same level of consciousness ever again. Over the next few months, he developed numerous infections and also suffered another brain injury after falling while trying to get out of his bed. And on February 21st, 2006, Don passed away from pneumonia, surrounded by his family. The moment Don woke up from his 10-year coma, he gave countless families all around the world hope that their loved ones would also be able to wake up again someday as well. Hundreds of people began reaching out to their doctors about the drugs that Don had taken and how he had managed to make such a miraculous recovery. His case helped change the way that doctors view consciousness. Today, it's known that patients in minimally conscious states don't always stay that way, and have hope of recovering from their brain damage after all. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all next time.
That's crazy. Great story. Hidden stories. And, oh my gosh, man.
The heroin culture is a strange culture. The heroin musician culture is very, very strange because it's very. The heroin culture is a strange culture. The heroin musician culture is very, very strange because it's very prevalent amongst elite musicians. You know, in terms of like you look at the guys that we all worship, like Hendrix did heroin, Morrison most likely did heroin, right? I mean, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain did heroin.
Yeah.
Lane Staley did.
The guy from Blind Melon, the lead singer of Blind Melon,
Yeah.
he died of heroin, I think, too.
Yeah, it's so prevalent, man. It's so prevalent. It's just like you know.
That's
you
one
gotta
thing.
wonder, like, what is it about heroin and music? Like, there's probably a feel to it.
I think it's a place they want to go. So I think they're writing that they feel like, yo, if I do this, I can go even to another level. Like, I don't know. I mean, I can ask Jerry, the guitar player. He'd be a great guy to have on your show. Jerry Contrell. Ask him how Lane came up with those lyrics. I don't know.
There's something. I think there's something to heroin that affects on people that we're looking at it only in a negative way. I've never done heroin, but I did do a morphine drip once when I had my knee surgery. It's amazing. So I would imagine heroin feels fucking great. But there was a guy that I knew that was a pool hustler. He was like a big time pool player in Connecticut, in the East Coast, and his name was Water Dog. They call him Buffalo Bill or Water Dog. And this guy was a heroin addict, and he would go into the bathroom and he would shoot heroin. And after he shot heroin, he would sit on the bar stool like this. He'd sit at one of those billiards chairs. He would sit there like this. Oh my god! I'm not kidding. For like 15, 20 minutes, just sit there like this. And then when he got out, he couldn't miss a ball. He couldn't miss. So he was gambling for thousands of dollars. There was all these people yelling and screaming. There was so much money involved because it's like this guy who was like a local gambler, George the Greek, was playing against him, and there was a lot of money being bet on this, thousands of dollars. And this fucking guy couldn't miss. He had eyes like a shark. Like it was like his pupils were fully dilated, and he was just firing balls in. Like he could see where the ball was going with pinpoint precision. It was wild to watch. And I was like, what the fuck is going on with heroin? Like how do so many musicians create amazing works of art with it? How do so many, like Mitch Hedberg loved heroin? You know, he's like one of the funniest guys that's ever lived. Like what is it about that drug?
Maybe I should do heroin. No, I know.
I definitely don't want to do it. I'm scared. But I'm wondering, like, what is it
Are you
about?
scared because if you did it, you'd really dig it?
Oh yeah. I
and then you
don't want to do anything that I really like. I can eventually kill you.
Right. You couldn't just like, oh, I'm just gonna try it.
No, it doesn't seem like a try thing. Heroin seems like it's like.
What about coke? Have you ever done coke?
No, never done coke.
Really?
No, never done coke. No one believes that, which is very insulting because I tell the truth about everything. But that is the one that I've waited because when I was a kid, I had a friend whose cousin was selling it, and his life fell apart. And I watched his life fall apart. I knew him before that, and then watching him afterwards, I was like, fuck, man, stay away from coke.
Do you think if you did it, you would want to do it some more? Or you just
I'm sure I would love it. Yeah,
Right.
I'm sure I'd love it.
Yeah.
I think everybody loves it. Just like there's certain things that a man's got to know his limitations. You know, stay away from things like coke.
What about
Also, like artistically, I'm not interested in anything that makes me more comfortable. I'm interested in things that make me less comfortable. I'm interested in things that make me less secure. That's why I like weed, because it makes you like analyze your behavior more. you know, and see the faults in your own stuff because you're kind of looking at things almost
When you
semi-paranoid.
When you write, do you smoke a doobie?
Yeah.
Right before?
Yeah.
And what's your writing process?
Depends on what time it is. If it's at night and I'm leaving a club, I won't smoke anything. I'm already probably a little high. And I'll just sit in front of the computer and I just start writing. Just start writing.
Yeah,
Just try to find anything. And all I'm looking for is like paragraphs that I can extract. I'm looking for a premise. And some of my best bits have come out of that, just like forcing it. And then once I force an idea, like get something down, then I start dissecting it and chopping up, and then get it to a place where I feel like,
damn, I could listen to Joe Rogan talk all day. Sorry, Mac Miller.
You ever wake up and you're like, I'm sick of the same old boring food. You know, I want something to eat, and I want to be adventurous. My wife told me she's going to leave me because I do the same stuff every day. Every day you come home from work, have a glass of milk, and a hot dog. Not anymore. Right now, I'm being myself. I'm being different. I'm being unique with a capital U. I believe this is a cinnamon bagel. This right here, honey baked ham, little cream cheese. That starting to taste weird.
Yeah, of course that would work.
But weird. Trying to reach your ass, man. You can't use any of that rant for the show. It's great. There's a lot we could do, like piece of Kenny, these cameras are making me crazy. Kenny, help me, please. I'm sick of this. You got any tattoos? Oh, you got your knuckles done? Say ruthless? Kenny's crazy. You're like a nice guy that murders everyone. Come on, take it easy. Come on, take it. You friend.
Yo, he's hilarious. Oh shit, that was hilarious.
My name is Ben Ball. You probably recognize me pushing fancy whips, stunting in nightclubs, or sitting courtside Laker games. But the rest of the world knows me as the jeweler of the stars. Ben Ball. Today we're heading up to Mac Miller's house. He lives up in the hills, facing the valley. I'm not a big fan of the valley, but I'll stay in the valley before I go anywhere in Orange County. So he's got some palace out there. I don't know. What I do care about is that Mac Miller is a fan of my work. I'm a fan of his music. So when you get a funny dude like him and a crazy motherfucker like me, it should be interesting. Oh, you're fucking kidding me, dude. If you what? Fuck, Mac. Where's the photo shoot at? Oh, fuck.
14.
Fucking motherfuckers. Mac woke up late. We gotta head back over the hill. Head over to Hollywood now. This is the reason why I get paid big bucks to be a concierge.
All right, look, here's the deal, dude. My birthday is on the 19th. It's coming up.
That's pretty quick, dude, yeah.
I want to just come out and do something crazy. I want to get a grill, dude. My whole life I wanted a grill, so I don't want to do anything regular.
So you want to do a full set?
Yeah, full set. Maybe something like half these or something, and then this is something else.
How long until you know what you're exactly doing? Can we figure it out now or
Watch,
not?
just watch how I work. Here you go. I got 3 diamonds.
Oh, yeah, I saw it on that side.
A ruby.
Okay, 1 ruby, and then...
Can you do a Pittsburgh P on this tooth?
Okay, last 2.
Would it look good to maybe do like a peace sign?
Like peace.
No, like the circle in the, and then bottom. What if we did diamonds on the other opposite side?
So then we want to put the 4 underneath. Let me see. You got dolphin teeth, though. I can write something there if you want, like on the next 3 teeth. You have the most weirdest fucking grill ever. I hope you know that.
Good, perfect.
Like weirder than my entire fucking creator's grill. It's like worse than that. Perfect. That's cool. He already know this shit.
So let's do this.
Who the man be?
What you mean, young?
I mean, he got a lot of money on him. Why we gonna rob him up?
Cause he out there.
But who is he, yo?
He the motherfucker the bus out we gonna rob. That's who he be. You talking in circles and shit.
Watch out, you are going stupid.
Yeah, you know what this is, son. I'm just trying to get home from a late shift here, son. Oh, you got home, man. You mind if I keep my wallet and my license? I don't want to have to go to Mondome and DMV and spend all day in the line.
Yeah, keep that.
See you. 1-1 B.
It's about right.
16.
He took $16 from that man on his way home from work.
16 more than we had, motherfucker.
Anthony, get it back.
Say what? Omar, man. This brother not cut out for this and shit.
Oh my coming. No.
Fucking right, yo. Yo, come on, man. Oh, shit.
CD player. Oh, shoot.
Oh.
Little cheap ass tune.
Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Third from the end. That's the stash. It's real raggedy ass shit there, boy. Bird up. Yeah, shorty.
Kitchen. I'll do the same.
Hey, y'all going to get that?
G-Pax.
Let's roll. Let's do it.
What am I doing? What the? Get the fuck out of here. Shit.
Afternoon, gentlemen. Saying he's gonna use that. You've been gonna use it by now.
Yo, this was the best show too. The Wire was.
It's clean. Got to keep it clean. Saying we have one of those parlays like this. Got to keep it clean, right? Omar with no gun on the street. Must be a first. Yeah, sometimes you are enough, dog. But being as y'all sitting on my ride so long, that's what I saved y'all some time. Come straight on out. I ain't taking no charges. You only put me back up in no cage.
We're not here to bury you, Omar. We're pulling you up because we've got a problem in common.
Problem?
Barksdale.
No, he ain't no problem.
I don't know. Avon's been chalking up a lot of bodies. You being you.
Put it that way, I guess it could be a little problem, but I just can't really come out and help y'all. You know what I mean? Snitching just rubs me wrong. Personally, I don't think the game's played like that.
We respect that.
Stop spamming.
If you do happen to take a charge, though, I'm McNulty, that's Greg's. You give us a call, sort something out.
Fair enough.
You know, I used to work at home, back when your brother was up there. You get a chance, let him know they blew up John Bailey last night.
Good man. A lot of enemies. Mm-hmm. Saying, you trying to catch up with Bird? Where does he drop the working man?
Hey, wait, hold up. Come on, don't play me. What working man? What Bird?
Come on, now ain't one more working man, now is there? The Bird? I think your snitch can handle that. Shit, Bubba's no Bird.
That's when his man died.
When Bailey got killed, you must have figured Barksdale was coming back on you, right?
Man, Bailey, please. The nigga's enemies got enemies. I just think he tried his hand on the wrong corner without us and got dropped.
But you were worried about Brandon, right?
Look at my game. You take some care, you play the safest way you can. But it ain't about no hiding forever. You heard? And frankly, you've been in as long as me. You do the thing on your name.
Anyone gonna come after Omar, they're gonna know Omar's coming after him.
Oh, indeed.
No, who got back top? Okay.
Hey, now.
What the fuck?
That's when he got hit. I don't know how you gonna get up and run, but I already did it.
Come with the king, you best not miss.
Omar. Yeah.
Open this door, man, for Hump and Pump. Come on now, by the ears of your chin chin chin.
You best roll out. You up in here with the Mac 10.
Well, I think it's not, Terrell. I think it's not. Y'all might need to take this deal. It's not wasting my time. Omar, come back tomorrow. And the next day. And the next day. And I will put a bullet in all y'all behind what happened right now. You heard? Fair enough.
How did nobody just kill him right there. That's the question.
This some of Avon shit.
This motherfucker right here.
You got Avon
You
Barksdale
got
chasing your ass all
nerves.
around town, and you still find time to take your shit.
And it's your shit now.
What I want with that?
What anybody want with that, man?
How much you asking?
Oh, we free.
Free.
Saying I got a little proposition for you. Proposition is you get 4 G-packs for free. You give me some better idea on how I can reach Avon.
How to contact him?
You always had a game, right? How you get a hold of him to parlay?
We talk now and then. I paid his ass.
Okay. Okay.
That's all you need. A number.
What may do with it? And a code for one of his people.
What we may use? 07?
07.
What makes you think I just ain't gonna take this shit off your hands and throw your ass up out of here?
Come on, man. Avon goes down, the price be open market again, right?
Let me understand. Avon gives $100 to me on a bet. Then you bring me some of his shit so that I can put your predatory self on his ass. Not his day, is it?
Like, it just blows my mind that your foot has something to do with your chest. In your back.
Hey, hey, cheese fries, baby. I got you some.
You got lucky that time.
Avon, stay down, man. I got you covered.
That nigga's scared. He said, right up here.
How close did you get? Y'all be talking to that nigga. We made him pop up at the last second. Like,
Remember when we last talked? You want to lay back, let us work our case?
I said I'd do what I can. Still, I thought I might let y'all know Avon people got in contact and probably want to end the beef. They offered me some kind of amnesty. Amnesty? Look, I chill out on the manhunt. Stop them. Hit them in the head for their product. They can call off the bounty.
Thank you so much.
They ain't trying to blame me.